Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you guys back for another webinar. Maybe this is your first one, but I'm excited to talk with you guys. I want you guys to meet my friend Justin. Justin is the marketing genius for IV clinics. Maybe I'm playing that up a little bit, but he's really good at what he does. And so I kind of understand on the backside, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, right? Because Ozonoterapia was the first thing. You understand a lot about it, you dig into it, but then I have to learn, how do I get this out to people? How do I get to other stuff? And I'm not necessarily really specialized in like marketing or some of these other things, but I know enough to know like when people are good at it. And so Justin, to me, I understand a little bit of his business model and how that works. And I think he can deliver a lot of value for people that are looking to get more clients and basically just tune up their marketing and get more people in the door so you can make more money and have further reach. And that's kind of why I want to do a partnership with Justin, is because I think he's going to deliver a ton of value in helping us get more people better and for you guys to create some more income so that you can build out your practice more and do all the things that you need to do from there. So basically how this is going to work, guys, is Justin is going to do a value-based presentation. What I mean by that is he's going to give us some really practical steps that we can take and implement and benefit our practice from. And then we're going to open it up for Q&A and just kind of have a discussion. Just out of curiosity, before I hand it over to Justin, any expected outcomes from this conversation that we have today? Let's go for it. We'll get the minds turning. We'll get the thoughts of brewing, but yeah, just lay it on us, Justin.
But I want to give you guys some quick background on me real quick, because I think it'll give you some understanding of where I come from. All right, guys.
Thanks.
So I want to just kind of give a quick background on me, just to not build myself up, because I don't know if I'm quite a marketing genius, but I want to give you some understanding that I do marketing and I've done marketing for years, but I've owned brick and mortar service-based businesses for 20 years. And so everything I'm telling you is not from just like, oh, this guy runs an agency and he knows how to do ads. It's I've had to get staff that didn't give a damn to do things to help the business. We've all been there, right? I've had to get systems to happen consistently over and over again when I wasn't there, because if you're the owners, if you're the doctor, if you're the person in there, things happen when you're there. And then what happens when they're not? So today, I really, really want to make a point that when we go through this stuff, we're talking about tactical things you can take away, and not just for you, but depending on the level of your clinic, give to your team, because it's cool if I can get you to do it, but that doesn't help you scale. So that's everything that we do when we work with a client. It's not just lead generation. It's not just marketing. It's not boosted posts. It's how does this help you to scale? Because at the end of the day, some of you, if you're doing all the work and I get you more patients, I'm not actually helping you. I'm just making you busy. I want to make sure this is something you can grow with. Now, quick background on me. You guys see me in the IV space. I don't know if you've ever seen, these are the new fruit bags that the Olympia came out with. I was presenting with that the other day. But in IV space, the biggest issue you're going to run into is people don't know what you do. And this is ozone especially. Like, this is why we're even having this call with Micah, because I didn't know about it. I live in this world. And so you're always battling this of what is the education piece? What is actually going on in it? Now, really quick, I will do shameless self-promotion because I always practice what I preach. If you want to learn more from us, we do have a Facebook group. We do free coaching calls like this all the time as well, just on marketing. If you want to take a picture, there's the QR code. But I want to give you, while you're scanning that, a quick background on my background. Now, I said I used to own businesses. I used to train professional athletes. That was my life for years. I went to school for exercise science. I lived in that world of quadratus lumborums and Golgi tendons, all these good things, VO2 maxes. And then my mom passed away. My mom passed away from suicide, depression, and obesity. She had a gastric bypass. I mean, everything she could have done to lose weight, she did it. And it was always the same: lose 10 pounds, gain 20 back. And when she passed away, I was working with athletes. We were doing fitness. And I'm like, I have all these skills, but I'm not really making a difference. Helping an athlete's cool, but I want to help people like my mom. I could have saved a life. And so I shifted my whole career. But I had this big issue I realized is, when I started helping people like my mom, they could have given two F's about my Golgi tendon or their VO2 max. They just wanted to know, can you help me? And I actually had to like dumb myself down, because I wanted to get in there and be like, oh yeah, like, you know, there's an insertion point here and there's this and this. And she's like, I'm overwhelmed and I'm tired and I'm overweight. And you're talking to me about insertion points. Like, why does that matter? And so that was my first foray into becoming a better marketer, because I had to learn, what do people actually care about? And I learned this now that I'm working in the medical space, that you guys are so excited about what you do. Like, you have access to these amazing things like ozone therapy, but no one cares, because they don't care about the oxidative stress. They don't care about this. All they care about is, can you help me? And if you do not capture that concept in every aspect of your business, you will not succeed. Because yes, you can know all the science in the world and have an empty clinic. You can have the best equipment and have no patients. And on the same end, you guys all know someone out there that is, I won't say a charlatan, but they're selling a service that's subpar. They're not doing as well. And they're full because they show people that they can help them and they take care of them. And so I want you to keep in mind, when you hear marketing, yes, we're going to grow your business and you're going to make more money off it, but it's really going to help that person make the decision to get the treatment they need, because you're going to learn to speak their language. So that's just my kind of caveat to every time I talk. You need to keep that in mind. Today, we're going to talk tactically about referrals, because not all of you are willing to spend money on lead gen yet, and that's okay. So I talk to so many practices and they're like, we're a referral-based practice. We get referrals. And I'm like, that's great. How do you get more? And they're like, and so I see things like this: refer a friend and we'll give you a, Galaxy tablet. Refer a friend, we'll give you $10. And to be honest, like, people put these in place and they think it's working because people are still referring, but your people don't refer because of this. Like, maybe somebody does, but especially those of you who are working with higher end clientele, they don't care about a tablet. They're going to refer you regardless. I see these all the time. Refer us and get $100. Now, I won't lie, this does work at a certain level. Like, I used to work for a company that gave a $2,000 referral fee. Yeah, I might hustle a little more for that. But at the end of the day, most of your clients aren't even going to refer for that. This is the one I see all the time. Like, oh, refer and here's a 10% off coupon, or refer and get 10% off. Guys, if you're charging over $200, people don't even think about that. Now, if the discount's big enough, if it's 50% off, that might motivate somebody. But really, these are not the best ways to get referrals, especially because your clients have no idea how to even talk to someone about your service. You want them to refer you because it's awesome. Like, if you were dying and the doctor gave you a pill and you're better, you come home and you're like, this was amazing. Or if you've eaten at a great restaurant, how many times you got like eaten at a restaurant? You're like, oh my God, that was awesome. You tell all your friends about it. Well, you have a product that literally can change people's lives. It should sell itself. They should be referring like crazy. But the problem is they don't know how. And I'm going to rewind real quick. I want to tell you a quick story. So when I had my boutique studios, these were high-end gyms. They cost $250 to $500 to come to. And I had this guy that was loaded. You just knew he was. Like, he had the watch that was like $10,000. He had a Ferrari. And I knew if I could get into his circles of people, like, I could just crush it. And so I'd always be like, Steve, hey, when are you going to refer me something? I'll give you $50 or $100 or whatever it is. Give you a month free. Nothing. And one day, and this is super random, but we had a client that was just a really good friend of ours, and she had a birthday. And so we made a custom shirt for her from like customink.com, had her favorite number, like a baseball jersey, and her last name on it and our logo. And she was wearing it in the gym. And Steve was like, how did she get that shirt? And just kind of BSing. I was like, Steve, she referred us 5 people. You get one of those shirts when you refer 5 people. And he's like, I'll buy one right now. I said, no, you can't buy it, Steve. You have to refer. And all of a sudden he was like, F that. Got on his phone. The next week he had 5 people on it. We got him a shirt. He had all the money in the world. He didn't care about the money. He cared about getting something he couldn't get. And so it's the same thing there, where it's like, sometimes with referrals, it's not about the money. It's what's important to that person. Some people want the status of being the one to introduce. They want the status. They want that thing there. So, but they should refer because it's awesome. Now, I do this for IV therapy, but I'm going to kind of apply it to Ozone. This is when your patients talk to people. This is what their friends hear. So let me get this straight. You come in for like a bag of water, you get a shot. It gives you a little energy. It's kind of a medical thing. It costs like $200, and it like does what Gatorade does essentially. It makes you like not so dehydrated. Now, every one of you is cringing right now because you're like, no, it does so much more. But this is what your patients are trying to explain. Because if you have a hard time explaining this without getting scientific, how are they going to do it? They don't know how. And so when their friends like, so you go in and you spend like $200 or $300 to do this thing that like a Gatorade essentially does, like, I don't get it. And it becomes challenging. And that's why like they don't know how to refer you, and you have to help them. So give them the right words, because if not, again, this is more for IV therapy than Ozone. They're just going to go, oh yeah, I'm not hungover, so I'm not coming in. I don't need to come with you. So what should you do? Like, what can you do to tactically get these people to come in more effectively? Well, Micah talked about this, but the simplest one is let people talk about your business without making it weird. So I'm a huge fan of the selfie stick. And so I work with a lot of IV therapy, both mobile and brick and mortar. Every one of you should have a selfie stick borderline chained to your treatment chairs, because I don't even have to tell you to do anything. If you're sitting down and there's a selfie stick, you're like, oh, put my phone in and do this. Like, it just happens. So what I would do is put your hashtags, your social media on that, and just have it there. That's a really easy way, because now Susie Smith takes a picture, posts it on Instagram. It's like, hey, I'm here getting my ozone therapy. Someone's going to say, what's that? And it starts the conversation. Instead of saying, Susie, go ask your friends to come in and do ozone, she's doing it for you without you even having the conversation. So like right here, like this is my client Tucker, and he does a nail salon IVs, but like I see that, I'm like, where is that at? Like, and I remember this picture got posted. Everyone's like, where is that at? What's going on? Are you getting pedicures? Like, it creates curiosity. You guys have some really sexy graphics in ozone. It's interesting. People are like, is there blood in that bag? Like, there's all these things, but create curiosity. The whole idea on social media is we want to stop the scroll. You guys all know the mindless scroll, right? It's just going. So when you take images, like a lot of you have medical clinics where it's like professional, like white drops, people scroll right past this. People looking at the camera, smiling, doing something different is going to catch an eyeball, but they're going to take pictures their friends want to see better than you are. So let them do it. Give them the selfie stick, create a selfie spot. So depending on your clinic and how you're set up, and again, I work in the IV space a lot in wellness. It could be something as simple as like, I mean, I love these little balloons here, right? You have a spot where they stand. I should have posted, I was just at a clinic last week that we built one of these, but a spot that everyone comes in and they just have to take a picture. And the thing is, you can't be weird about this, right? You can't be like, hey, like, would you take a picture? It's just, hey, let me give you a tour of the clinic real quick before you start. That's our testimonial wall. Everyone, as soon as they're done with treatment, takes a picture and posts it. Like, it's just part of the way we do things. And you can have fun with it depending on your clinic's vibe. Like, we have clinics that have literally turned this into like a photo booth. They've got props and they make it like a fun thing. And they do, like, right now it's fall, so they have pumpkins and skulls and like, but guess what? Every time their patients come there, they're dying to hop on the selfie spot and brag about it without the owner even having to ask. There's no offer of money. There's none of that. It's just, this is what you do. And so it just takes it some effort and some thinking to make that fun. So I guess this is the thing I did. So this is my hashtag shameless thing. Everyone take a picture of the screen real quick. I'm going to give away some free stuff at the end here. So take a picture of the screen at me, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to post when you tag me. So here's me waving. So you're going to say, learning how to help more people with ozone therapy with Justin Lesh, and just tag me. Now, I said that a little awkward because I lost my script, but I should give you the script to say, because if I just say, hey guys, shout me out on social media, it's going to be who knows what's going to get posted, right? So if you guys want to follow me, those are my tags, but tag me in something. I'll give you something free if you tag me, I promise. But just tag and say, hey, learning how to help more people with ozone therapy. Tell people. No one wants to think about how to do this. Now, if I really wanted a referral out of this, and this is where you guys would do, I'd be like, getting my first drip. Who wants to come with me? I'll give you these scripts in a second. If I was trying to do it for you guys, I'd be like, learning how to grow my business. Who needs help with marketing, or who does good marketing? Because I want engagement. So I don't care what you do. You can post a story, a TikTok, a reel, but this would be what I'd have in my selfie stick for your business. I'd have something that has all your social tags, the script of what you want them to say, and then just do this. And you don't even have to have it. Like, if you just left this on the wall, half the people would do it automatically. Like, post this where people are sitting and doing their drips. Post this where they're coming in. And you can make it fun. You can make it entertaining, but you want to do like, so I'll give you some scripts on this, but you want to make it where it tells about your business without you having to get too crazy on it. So again, if you guys tag me, anyone that tags me, I'll reach out. I got some fun stuff for you. So I want to be very tactical, because I know you get on these calls and they're high level and I talk really fast. So get your cameras ready. I'm going to give you some scripts, and you can modify these yourself, but these are scripts you can put into your business right now. Oh, sorry. One last one. One of the best ways you can get referrals, and you can train your team on this, is to do the how is your day going so far? So Micah, are you unmuted? Perfect. Micah, ask me how my day is going.
How's your day going, Justin?
Oh, dude, my day is amazing. And this morning, like, one of my clients sent one of her friends in to like come and get treatment. And like, there's no better compliment than to refer people, like, so I can take care of them. Like, I just love that. So yeah, my day's been awesome. How are you?
Good.
Now, just by saying that, that sounds cheesy, but what is Micah feeling right now? Like, what do you think's going through his head? Especially if we have a good relationship. It's like, I want to make his day. And I've done this like from like an actual measured case study in clinics and businesses, where you meet with your team and you play with this, and you got to make sure it's not corny. Like, it has to come off real. Like, you have to practice this with your nurses, which, by the way, if anyone does this, don't just send a video out of this. Have a team meeting and maybe relay this back and forth once or twice, because you will have that nurse that's like, I feel amazing. I had someone referred this morning and it sounds terrible. Make sure they're ready, but do this with your team. Be like, hey guys, just if someone asks you how your day is, like, oh, my day is awesome. Someone referred us this morning and it like just made my day. You will see a measurable increase. Like, you will see a 5% increase in referrals just from that, like, without even asking. And this isn't anything like super like tactical. It's a team. It's a soft skill, but like, you're creating an environment. It's fun. So just take a picture of that one. Talk to your team if you're up for it. That's a fun one. But I have more tactical ones here. So here we go. My day was freaking awesome. Had a referral this morning, and there's nothing bigger compliment, or not a bigger compliment you can give me than when a client trusts me with their friends. Try it. Try it yourself first. Just do it once and then make your team do it. But I guarantee you, you're just going to see this, like, and if you want to sneak in later in the conversation, like, hey, do you have any friends that want to come in? They're like, yeah, I do. Like, I'll take care of it right now.
Can I interject? Sorry.
Yeah.
I know it's your presentation, but we keep it dead informal on Zoom. So sorry about that.
But no.
I love the practicality of this. And I just want to point out that take the principle from this, because I would never say my day is freaking awesome. That's not the language that I use. Right. So, but for me, I might say something. Yeah. Dr. Rhett Bergeron referred a patient this morning, and I am just so appreciative for what he does for us. It's extremely, use it in your own language, in your own way. That is going to bring that forth in a genuine way, I think, is the big thing for me. Because Justin and I have extremely different personalities. I get to follow Justin around and have fun because he's always looking at, like, the shiny thing and what to do, but make it your own, I guess. And I know you said that, but just putting it in my words.
No, absolutely. It's funny. So if you guys don't see, Trevor is my business partner on this call, and Trevor and Micah are like the same speed, and I do all this crazy stuff. And then Trevor's like, okay, let's organize this and bring it back to like the tactical. So I'm going to always be a little crazier, more out there, but you want to find what's comfortable. And that's also why I would say practice this with your staff, because I can tell you the script is great, but if your staff isn't comfortable with it, doesn't matter. You need to have them bought in on this as well. So you might even ask them, hey, how could we do this for us? And get your staff's feedback. And we can talk about management and team training later. All right, scripting I would put on your selfie stick or your wall. Just got my first Ozonoterapia drip. Who wants to come with me next time? That's not a real hashtag. That's your hashtag there for the record, guys. I would have that on the wall. How you use this is up to you, but I would just post that and be like, hey, Susie, here's a great one. Hey, we're actually giving away a free drip at the end of the month to everyone that tags us on social media. If you put that post up there, we'll pull one. Maybe you can win. Like that's a way you could bribe them for it. You could do it with very conversational, like, hey, while you guys are dripping, if you see the thing on the selfie stick there, post that. Like a lot of our clients like to do it. It's just kind of fun. Like it's all up to you, but you need to tell them what to say. And I won't get too into like call to actions and stuff, but by just saying, who wants to come with me next time? They're asking for a referral. Now, they're not talking about why they're there. They're not saying I'm here for, this, or I have a wound, or it's just who wants to come with me next time? What do you think the friend's next question is going to be? Why did you go? What does it do? And now you create an opportunity for them to talk about your service in a way that makes sense versus like them, like they don't know how to get referrals. They're not in sales. They don't get that. So they don't even know who's interested. When I had my gyms, all my clients would be like, yeah, none of my friends would come here. I'm like, really? Like none of them want to lose weight. There's none of your friends that could use to lose a few pounds. But then we would do things like this and I'd have 100 comments and I'm like, okay, maybe you weren't quite right. But no one talks about their pain. And keep in mind, Ozone solves a lot of pain. There's so much it does, but a lot of those pains are quiet pains. Like this is funny, after meeting Micah, I found out a client of mine does this. She had Lyme disease and she's had a huge success with it. I never knew she had Lyme disease or that she did ozone therapy. Why is that? She's been borderline cured. I know her well. I follow her social media and I've seen nothing of this journey. It blew me away. And she, like, when I talked to her about it, she was like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever. Why is she not telling the story? And this is how that story can started being told. So this is not just for you guys, by the way. If done right, this is going to help the whole industry because it creates exposure and awareness. And so you're helping more patients nationwide, even if they're not nearby you. And this is the power of Micah's network because maybe her friend in Texas sees it and you're in Florida. Well, you can reach out and find someone and be like, you know what? I actually have someone in Florida I could refer them to. And so there's a lot of power to creating this kind of awareness as well. Here's another one that I really like. And I can tell you a couple of ways we've done this. We actually had whiteboards like made up that says, I came in feeling blank and now I feel blank. Who wants to come with me next time? Now you can take this and modify it just like Micah said, but imagine someone came in feeling hungover and now I feel blank. Who wants to, or feel great? You could do it where it's like, I came in for my Lyme disease. We'll just use that example. And now I have energy for days. Like you can use this however you want, but this lets people see the gap be bridged between what your product does. Because to be honest, no one cares what's in Ozone. No one cares about the mixing process. No one cares about your equipment. They want to know, can it help me? And so if I'm running ads for your clinic and we're doing, come in for your first ozone treatment for whatever, and then they click on your Instagram that we've linked it to, and there's picture after picture of like, I came in for this problem or this problem, and they find someone just like them, the chances of them coming in, converting and becoming a patient and getting a result are 10 times higher. Not to mention, sometimes we can actually run those as ads too. So we talk about organic content later, but put this on your wall. I put this on your script, but this is another one you can do that is really powerful. And you can have a lot of fun with this. Like tell them to put it in their own words. If they want to say, I'm feeling freaking horrible, because guess what? The way they talk is the way their friends receive. Like I don't change the way I talk on these calls to like how my friends talk. So it would be weird for me to like what Micah said, it would be weird for me to write, but my friends respond to the way I talk. So if I'm like, I came in, I'm going to say a bad word, cover yours, but if I came in effing horrible and now I feel effing amazing, I guarantee you I have friends that are like, I want to feel effing amazing. I'm going to come with you. Like it's going to resonate with my people. So you want to do this for them as well. So this is if you're doing treatment programs or longer term programs, I would definitely do this. This is the kickoff post, we call it. So if you're doing we've done some IV supported weight loss, if you're doing autoimmune protocols, first of all, this is a whole different call, but you should have a name for your package and program. But that's a whole different talk. But it's like, I just started my ozone treatment program. Who wants to do it with me? Now, the reason I don't like that particular one is it's just too broad, but it's like, I just started my autoimmune protocol, or I started my, whatever you want to call it. But by doing that, who wants to do it with me? Someone in their feed is going to have the same pain point. That's why the pain point should be in the name, but it has the same pain point. And they're going to say, I'd be interested. Now, yeah, they're going to go into like, how much does it cost? Whatever. We'll talk about that later, but just put it out there. Like weight loss is fun because it's like, who doesn't want to lose weight, right? So like this lady did this particular client of ours is North Valley Med Spa. They got 20 leads. So they had 50 people start the program. They got 20 referrals from those 50 people that just did this because every one of their patients did this. Not to mention from a psychological adherence standpoint, because I come from a coaching background, this woman posting this on social media, do you think she's going to eat cake later that day? And so if you're trying to change behaviors by getting them to socially announce that they're doing something is really powerful. And I know some of you are working in different domains where you need to get them to change nutritional habits, sleep habits, recovery habits, things like that. By getting them to make a public declaration, this is what I'm doing, that will get you better results as well. But it's really powerful because they're telling people about it and they're just saying, who wants to do it with me? People like to do things together. And real quick, a really fun way, if you're like, well, my clients don't want to post this. Hey, Susie, do you want to know a trick that we found that gets way better results for like half our clients? Yeah. So we find when clients do this post, they just stick to it more. Let's do it. Like, it's about them. And again, when you're doing this, you should legitimately mean that. Like, I'm big about integrity, but I'm telling you from tracking data for like years, people that do this will get better results. And especially if their friend comes, they're more inclined to stay longer for whatever the program is. So what you need to track on this, sorry, this is kind of jumping around a little bit, but referral marketing, you should still be tracking your sources of referrals, but I want to show you how powerful referrals are from a paid lead gen standpoint. So Trevor and I who are on here, we will do paid lead gen for clients. We will help them get leads from Facebook, Instagram, but there's only so much you can do with that. And this is how this turns the afterburners on. So I'm going to make some math here. I know everyone loves math, but let's just say you spend $1,000, and this is for the IV space, but $1,000, you get 100 leads at $10 a lead. By the time it's all said and done, that's going to turn into 50 bookings. Not every lead turns into a patient. I'm sorry. And even out of 50 bookings, you might only have 30 show. And let's say it's for a $100 trial drip program, whatever it is. Okay. So it's still not a bad deal. You spent $1,000, you made $2,970. So you got some profit in there, but that's not that big of a profit. Okay. That's not that big of money on that end. Like you're, 2 to 1, 3 to 1. But when you start adding things in, like these scripts we talked about, if you did, that person that came in for a trial, we use O3 on this. If they came in for a trial or for that 99, and you're like, hey, come back in next time, full price, but I'll pay for your friend for free. Or flip around, bring your friend in next time and I'll pay for your next treatment. And you're like, well, that's, hey, if you had one person bring 10 new people and expose them to your clinic this month, would it be worth it? Like, what are the margins? Like, you guys know the cost on this stuff and you got to be smart on this. But that person bringing their friend in is a way more powerful patient that is going to stick with your business much longer than a random person off of flyer or Facebook, because there's stickiness there. They're doing it together. They're going to say, oh, this is great. You got to do it. And let's say Micah comes in and does a trial drip at my facility. And I'm like, dude, come back in with your friend next time. And when your friend pays, I'll take care of your drip. Now he's been in there twice. He's experienced it twice. He's felt the benefit. He's going to be way more inclined to be hooked. He's felt it. So you really got to sure that you build the value on that. Now, I want to talk about customer acquisition. Don't worry about this number, but every time you get a customer, it costs money. It either costs time, it costs energy, it costs effort. You had to go out to what do you call it? A farmer's market, and you set up your table, you're doing something. And so when you're spending money to market from lead gen, referrals bring your customer acquisition costs down. So let's just say that for me to get a $99 drip, it costs me $50 on Facebook. I'm just BSing math. But then that person does a referral post that we just talked about, and they bring a friend in who signs up for a $188 drip. Insert your ozone math in here. I'm just using Ivy for right now. The friend that brought the friend in is free. Okay. Bear with me here. So, or maybe they even split the cost, however it works. So you spent $50, but you made $288, but you got 2 patients, tons of social media posting, and hopefully you can get them to book onto something else. So in your mind, you're like, well, I don't know if I want to give away a free drip the next time around. I don't want to give away a free treatment. You don't have to give it free. You can give a discount, whatever you want. But what I'm saying is you're getting a second patient without paying the acquisition cost. Or instead of paying Facebook the acquisition cost, you're paying it in just a discount, but it's a higher quality patient. And so I just want to kind of put that in your head. I know this is kind of getting out there in concepts, but people will spend $3,000 on a billboard or putting a magazine ad out there and they have no problem with it. But then I'm like, hey, here's a great way to get referrals. Have people bring their friends in and do this, especially if you're just launching this program and you don't have a lot of content and social media and like testimonials. This is a great way to build exposure to your program. So let me show you this now. So let's just say in that same model, we spent $1,000. We got 100 leads, $10 per lead, 50 bookings, same thing. But every other person turned into a sale of a referral. So the average value went to $299. Now you spent $1,000 and you made $8,970. Same amount of patients, but you just put that referral system in place and got a little more money out of each one. Does that make sense, guys? And I'm saying it's not the patient himself paying, but if every other one brought in a friend that booked a booking, now I'll spend this all day long. Let's spend $10,000. Let's do it. But it makes way more sense here. And some of you who've done paid ads know what I'm talking about. You've been here and you're like, oh, the advertising, it kind of works. It makes some money. But if you can have the back end systems to make sure that those patients are bringing friends in and referring, now referrals and paid marketing work together really, really well. Power referrals, a referral is much easier to sell or upsell. They're being brought in by a friend. Like, oh, so Susie trusts you. I'm going to trust you. They're more likely to fit your culture depending on how your business is set up. Some of you guys have a culture. You have a certain kind of patient clientele you work with. And when you start doing paid marketing, sometimes that brings in different kinds of people. Referrals tend to be the people that you like your business and they're going to bring more people. The lady that just bitches and moans every time she comes in doesn't tend to refer. Just works out that way. So if you can magnify referrals, you're gonna get better people. Typically they cost 0 to nothing. It's up to you on how you do any of those scripts we showed. If you just did the social media scripts alone, it doesn't cost anything. Hey, who wants to drip with me? But they can be very, very powerful. And if done right, they can totally magnify your business. Now, I want to talk to you guys real quick. This is going to be kind of transitioning a little bit, but Micah and I have been talking a lot about this. And we're like, how do we take these things and apply them to Ozone? Because it does all these amazing things, but right now it's being run almost as a medical thing and there's no business to it. There's no marketing. People don't know about it. Like I live in this space and I'm just learning about it from Micah. So we are going to be running a beta test. And what this is me and my partner, Trevor, are going to be working with 10 businesses that work with Micah to see what kind of work we could do and what kind of damage we could do as far as patient acquisition in 2 weeks. So Micah is sponsoring this. So he's actually going to pay for these 10 participants to come in and we are going to put gasoline on the fire. And we are going to see how many patients we can get in, both with paid and with these referral strategies in 14 days. And it's going to be a case study. And so if you're interested in that, just know, again, he's paying for it. There's my slide there. But I want to kind of give you what we're expecting and where we're looking at. So we're expecting $500 ad spend. So if you're interested in this, you must be willing to spend $500 in marketing to Facebook. This goes directly to them. These are rough numbers. I want to find out the official ones, but we're expecting you to get right around 50 leads. Right around $10 a lead, probably about 25 bookings. And again, low end numbers, 12 people will show up. And let's just say that you end up selling the average sale at $299. That doesn't mean you might sell $299 at the front end, but the average patient is worth $299. I can tell you right now that most of your patients are worth more than $299. A new patient is worth a lot. I know Michael's over there nodding, but I'm just like, I don't want to overpromise, underdeliver, but I want to tell you, these are the numbers we're looking at. So worst case scenario, you're going to spend $500. And if you have a system in your business at all, you should make right around $3,700. Okay. I want way more than that. And so the people that were trying to do this, I want to put gasoline. Like I'd love you to spend $1,000 and you should know within 3 days how much you can spend and not, because you're going to see a return on it. But the goal is for the industry, we want to know what it takes to get a new patient from paid marketing, because that's where we specialize. I know we haven't talked about that. And then put these systems on the back end. Like, again, you could do it on scale. $2,000 would make you even more. And this is still on this end. You guys should be doing way bigger packages and things like that. I just want to give you these numbers to see. But if you're interested in being part of this beta, Micah and I kind of work together on what we need for this round. We might get less picky later. You must be up and running with Ozone. Like, doesn't work if you don't have it. Okay, guys. If you're not up and running, and some of you guys are new in this call, talk to Micah. He'll get you, make sure I get you his information to get set up. You must have at least one employee. For right now, we don't want solopreneurs because we want to kind of slam you. And I can't have you like running the drip, meeting a consult, doing everything, right? Like you need to have some help here because that's how busy we want to get you. You must be willing to spend $500 on ads over 14 days. You're welcome to spend more. You will get a better result, but that is our minimum. I know this sounds obvious, but I have to say it. You must be comfortable meeting with patients, assessing their needs, and selling/prescribing their services as needed. If they don't need Ozone, do not give it to them. I don't want numbers on this. But on the flip side, if they need something else, give it to them. You need to be comfortable meeting with them and consulting. And to some people, that is sales, but you have to be able to talk to them about that. And the last thing is, just like you would do with medication, if you gave someone a treatment, you need to see what the outcome was and whether you need to adjust the dosage. The reason for this beta test is we need to track the stats and we need to know what's working really well, what's working best, so we can hand it off to the rest of the people in this organization. If you are interested in that, this is the application. You can scan it or type it in. We'll be talking to people this week. It's really simple, but the idea is we're going to be putting gasoline on the fire of your business and getting more people into your facility for Ozone. And at the same time, creating more awareness for Ozone in your area. So that's kind of my spiel on that. I will go into questions on it. I saw there was some in the chat there. I'm going to stop my share.
Let me interject. If you're not interested in it, you did not understand the offer. Let me put it that way. Because what Justin is essentially saying is like, hey, I'll do everything for free for you. You're going to pay some money to Facebook, but that money goes to Facebook. But everything I know about marketing, everything I know about writing ads, everything I know about getting patients into your door, I'm going to do for free. So that's the offer here. So if that wasn't super clear, I want to make that super clear. And then Justin, once we get through a couple more points that you have, I do have like 4 golden nuggets I just want to drop as far as like sales and marketing to people that are helpful too.
You're good. And really quick, I want to edify Micah real quick, guys. So like I've only known Micah for about 2 weeks now, but just talking to him, like the fact that he's even willing to pay us to do this for you guys because he wants to see you grow, because you have an amazing product, you have an amazing service, and he's willing to invest in you guys to get more patients to help. And the cool thing is we all win on this. Everyone wins if you guys are successful and your patients are successful. So just make sure you shout him out because he's doing a ton to make sure you have all the tools and training and protocols and everything in place to not only be able to help people, to have a successful business for yourself too, because that's important. That's all my points I have, Micah. So that's on my slide. So I'll take questions. If you want to add any on there, I'm going to stop my share.
I just have 4 things I want to drop real quick, and they're kind of the four. One, I would say that selfie stick and the stuff that you do is ingenious in the sense of how simple it is to do. And I've been doing this for a while. It's usually the simple, practical stuff that really works well, stuff that you can do time and time again. And yeah, you're not going to notice a difference on day one, but you have however many patients that you're working with throughout the year, you get 10% of them, 20% of them to do that thing year over year. That's like compounding interest. So it just pays off exponentially and will end up being a lot of exposure and income for your business. So that's why I love what Justin brings to the table is these very simple, practical tools that are easy to utilize. Four things that I wanted to mention, and I'll start with the fourth that I wrote down here, but does anybody know the underpinnings to make, not the ad side, but all that practical stuff, the underpinning to make all of that work very fluidly and easily? It's relationships, right? So it's relationship with people that is the foundation for all of this stuff. And what I mean by that is genuine relationships, so that you're not coming and trying to take from people in the sense, I want you to give me this, but you have a reciprocal relationship where you're helping out the patient, you have good rapport with them, they like you, you like them, and it's genuine. And then it makes asking for these things extremely easy because there's rapport there. And that goes the same for compliance. It goes the same for safety. Nobody's going to take you to court if they love you, and this marketing side of things, it's kind of the same type of deal. So get your relationships in order and really prioritize that. Maggie, that works with me, has never read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't know how she's made it this far without that, because she's really good with people and really wonderful at communication. But it's stuff like that that really just makes it so easy and fluid and work well. The second thing I want to say is a lot of people ask, hey, how do I get people interested in ozone therapy in the first place? Well, one easy trick is, if you have the option to do this, is get a high profile person, or as high profile as you can. So say you have athletes, get your best athlete or your biggest influencer that you have, get them to do the IV therapy, use the scripts that Justin suggested, post that on Instagram, on social media, and use that as a way to generate interest in the therapy. That goes way further than explaining microcirculation, oxygen efficiency, oxidative stress, all that kind of stuff, because you are lending the credibility of that person to the therapy. And that's what makes people interested in it far more than understanding the scientific side of it. Do the scientific education as well. But as far as generating interest, it's credibility from other people. That is the biggest driver of that. Third, IVs are cool. Do it publicly if you can. I don't know the laws on all of this. I've been doing it for a while. I go to conferences and hotels and we just run IVs on doctors there. And it's not a big deal, but go to marathons, go to places, have an IV bag going, do them for like at cost, like 20 to 50 bucks, super cheap. You're going to get a ton of interest. That chair is going to be full all day long, more than you can actually handle in my experience. And you're going to get a lot of interest in that. So do it publicly because IVs are cool. And the fourth thing, if you're a brick and mortar business, do clinic tours. That's something that a lot of people miss out on. Bring people in, meet them at the door. Don't stand behind the desk. Get up and actually go over and shake their hand, say hi to them, give them a clinic tour, show them what you're about. And that goes a really long ways. If you're a mobile nurse or mobile clinic, maybe just showing them on your phone some of the different people that you've worked with that you've really liked, some of the stories. And, that comes after there's a little bit of rapport building and relationship and investing into them. But, show them what you're about. And that goes a long way, because what that does is that tells them a lot about like the different therapies you offer, what some of the options are, because if they're doing IV ozone, they might know nothing about NAD, but it gives you an opportunity to at least tell them about that. So those were just four different things. Relationships, get credibility from high profile people or as high as you can within your network. Do it publicly because it's cool, and clinic tours.
Micah, can I add a few little fun nuggets on that? You just said, yes, my brain went.
Please do.
If you're mobile, those scripts I just posted. So we have a client that actually just came on with Micah, but they have, I think, 20 or 30 providers. They're going to take those scripts and they're going to literally laminate them and tape them to the back of they have like their gear boxes they show up for mobile. And so it's just there. So they set the box down right in front of the patient, and the patient's sitting at the thing staring at the script. And it's just right there. Tag us on social media. So even if you're not a clinic, you can still take these practices and put them into play. The other ones
I'm actually going to take some of that too. Like that board that you said, I'm probably going to have one starting IV in my clinic. So then the practitioner can post it as a public declaration of what they're doing. And then I get some, traction from the therapy as well. And everybody is kind of winning off it. So I love these.
Yeah. Make it as simple. Like you want to make it because here's the deal, guys, especially if you're the owner, if you're already struggling to do this, your team is only going to be 70% of what you are, if not even that. So if you're struggling to get social media photos, they're going to struggle. So if you can make it so idiot proof that it just happens to where, like Micah said, he may not get a doctor to take a selfie or do a walk and talk, but if he sends them a board, they're going to take a picture with the board. You can't help it. So make it like that. Just one fun nugget you said about the tour, Micah, we used to do something we used to teach called damaging admissions. Whenever you give a tour, find one thing about your facility that you don't do that sounds bad, but it's actually good. So we had these little boutique studios and we'd be giving tours and we're like, hey, did you see the swimming pool outside? And they're like, no. It's like, oh, it's because we don't have one because we're only focused on results here. We don't do that fluffy stuff. And it just like, it built trust because it's like, you're like willing to not talk bad on yourself, but you're like, hey, we only do these things here. We're only good at this. We don't need that fluff. And so they call it a damaging admission. It's just a fun thing you can do in that. All right, I could go on. Mike knows I could go on all day. So I'm going to answer some questions because I'll just keep talking.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's open it up for Q&A. So I want to hear from you guys, your questions, and Justin will probably field most of them, but yeah, ask away.
Are you guys doing this beta test multiple times throughout the year? Or is it just like a one case study?
So I'll kind of answer that for Micah. The plan right now is we're doing the beta test now because we want to figure out what works best. We will probably offer this as a service to all of the people that are using Ozone later. Right now, we're just going to be essentially giving a little more treatment. So just like if you brought your celebrity person in, you would give them probably more love and attention and figure out what's working well for them before you market it to the masses. The people in this beta test are going to have us kind of holding their hands. We're going to be meeting weekly, touching base, really figure out what we can do to refine this to get it the best. We will have this as an offering later. We don't know. I don't know if Mike is going to pay for it for you guys later too. That's the other fun thing. So, but I don't know if that answers your question.
I got a discount. Spoiler alert.
Love to do it in January. Our goal is to have this live for everyone as an option in January. Like I said, the betas are just going to get a lot more love and they're going to get a much better price, which is nothing because Mike is generous.
All right.
So you were saying, when would the beta test actually start up? So when would our team need to be ready to do all of that?
So the way we'd probably be doing it is we're going to be onboarding next week and then it'd be 14 days. It'd be 14 days consecutive. So next week would probably be onboarding, getting you guys going. And I say next week, probably later next week. My partner Trevor is going to be doing the onboarding and then the ads and everything would probably go live the following Monday. So not this Monday coming, but the next Monday would be our goal.
And would it be specific ads that y'all are creating, or would we like submit our designs so it would be our branding? What would that look like?
So that's the kind of why we're doing this beta. So what we're doing is we're going to create creative as well. We would love to work, if we have anyone that's in the beta that's able to create content, we would love to help work with that as well. So like when we work with clinics now, we create our own content, but then if the clinic's able to create content, we'll use it as well. But yeah, we typically will try to find something that's white label that we can use for everyone. We can throw logos and things like that on there. But the idea is it's going to be Ozone specific. Obviously, Mike is going to be reviewing all our copy and content to make sure it falls within, the correct offerings and lines. Our job is also to figure out what is the best offer that converts, because every clinic's a little bit different. So we're trying to find out what are the 1 to 2 things we can do universally that are going to work for all the clinics. And so like we've done this in IV therapy. Every clinic's different, but we've learned these are the few intro offers that work really well. And then sometimes we'll do higher ticket packages like, hey, come in for a 12-week package. It just depends on the sales structure. But sorry, I went around a little bit. We will be creating most of the content, but if you have teams that are ready to do it, we would love your help with that as well.
Okay, perfect. And would it be, because our team is a bigger team, it would be like, we have like multi people. So I do all of the marketing and all of that stuff. And then we also have the team that deals with the patient relations. So a lot of what you're saying is really cool. So really excited to do what it is. We're just in the middle of like revamping things. So this is a perfect opportunity. So the question I had was, so do y'all give us numbers? Do we give you numbers? Because we do things differently, would we just fill out that information or?
So I think I understand your question as far as like what to charge and those kind of things.
Yes.
So that's really where we're going to kind of be working with you guys. And this is the purpose of the betas. I don't know enough about the business of the ozone therapy, and Micah has some numbers, but everyone's very different. So I want to hop in. So what we will be doing is working with you guys and figuring out what is the best pricing package to offer on the front end. So for instance, in IV therapy, I have 2 packages. I can tell you right now, we do like a $99 trial drip for an in-clinic that works really well, but there has to be a sales process on the back end. We have a weight loss program that's $400 that we know converts really well on a phone sale. Like we have all these things we've tested enough. We don't know what that is. And so if you guys are comfortable in saying, hey, right now when someone comes in for Ozone, it's $299 and people buy that like hotcakes, that might be what we market. But we're going to need to look at and see where your guys' structure is. It also may be different per clinic, because if you guys have a team that can do consults really, really well, you can offer a lower ticket front end to get people in the door and then convert them on the back, versus somebody else may not. So that's kind of what we're going to be working with you guys more closely on, as opposed to when we go in later on, we're going to be having it kind of established.
That's amazing. Thank you.
No problem.
Michelle, I see you're in here and you have your camera and microphone off, but you're a marketer. So what are you doing with your camera and microphone off? Maybe he's just listening to it in the background, but Michelle, if you hear me, flip that camera on.
Someone with high dose ozone clinic apply like 10 pass or infusion treatments besides IV. So Micah, you can speak to the high dose ozone because I'm not quite versed enough on that, but I don't see why it wouldn't. If you're selling passes and programs, I think that'd be great. I mean, definitely anyone that's got memberships or anything like that is going to benefit from this much, much more than one-off treatments. Lisa, are you on here if you want?
Yeah. So would someone with a high dose ozone clinic apply like 10 pass or insufflation? So those are just differences in protocols. I mean, as far as marketing is concerned, that really doesn't matter. I think for the purpose of the beta test, Justin is primarily looking for anything that is IV with ozone. So if you are putting a needle into somebody's vein, that is what you would want to bring to Justin.
I think, guys, one of the things that I've had to learn that's really been helpful in the IV space is we all know what someone's probably going to need. And we all have our own tools. Like when I had my gyms, we had a certain way we did things. There was gyms down the street that did it differently. We had different nutritional protocols. You all do medicine a little bit different. My job is to get these people to come into your clinic and for you to make sure to help you with the process, to ask them questions so that they can see the value in what your tool is. So if you're doing a high dose ozone and you truly believe that is the best benefit for these patients, my job is to catch their eyeballs with something that's going to make them go, "Ooh, I'm interested in this." Come to your clinic, sometimes pay you money, sometimes just be there for a consult. And at that point, they've come in and seen the value of what you have and they want to stay. And all of the way you guys practice medicine is going to be a little bit different, just like my IV clinics and wellness clinics. But the goal is, how do we get more people in front of you so you can talk to them and be passionate about what you do and get them to stick around? Margaret says, my situation is a bit different. We'll be starting a coaching business in January. Yeah, Margaret, I'd love to talk. I'm interested. I think ozone and IV could go really hand in hand well with different types of coaching businesses. I've seen that already playing out sometimes. For the record, guys, the future of wellness and of IVs, and I think even ozone, is going to really be into long-term chronic care. I really think that's the way it's transitioning. I know it's been very acute, hungover, I have this thing, whatever. But if you're not starting to talk to your patients and putting together packages for long-term care, you're really missing the future of this industry. And that's just, like the whole loaded topic for another conversation.
Yeah, that's where the base is at. So, and that's where I come from, is chronic disease and working with patients who have that and doctors who primarily treat that. But yeah, it's super helpful. I mean, I can speak a little bit more freely on these, especially if you have, I don't know how many of you have looked into like the spike protein, but it's a bigger issue recently than people have given it credit for. And some pretty credible resources have been coming out with some information, but ozone actually eliminates that. And the spike protein is what you get from the jab and then also from COVID itself. And it's a self-replicating protein essentially that causes negative symptoms. So there's, and that's just one thing. It's used in so many different directions. So I think it's, I primarily view it as a chronic disease therapy, but it's been breaking so much into biohacking and optimization and professional athletes and all this kind of stuff as well. So I think it's a huge thing, has a lot of potential.
I think one last thing I want to leave everyone with, and I think this is just something mental. I kind of said in the beginning, but I like to wrap this up, is as you go back in your clinics today, guys, as you go back and meet with patients and treat them, try to step away from the therapy. Try to really put their shoes on. And if I asked you, what is that patient's pain? Don't tell me a medical symptom. Like the mom that's coming in for chronic fatigue, her pain is not chronic fatigue. She wouldn't say that. That's not the word she would use. What would she say? And you need to start thinking about these things, because this is what's going to help you to get more product pushed out, more patients in there. Because her thing is not chronic fatigue. It's, I'm not a good enough mom. I'm not taking care of my husband. The problems that she wants to solve, she may not say them to you if you don't have a relationship, but it might be, hey, maybe she is struggling to lose weight and she wants to be able to be intimate with the lights on. Like, I know that sounds really funny, haha, but that's a serious thing. If you can help her associate those problems in her life getting solved with what you're offering, you'll never lose a client again. But the problem is we don't even help them to see the gap. And what happens is with these treatments, it's not a cup of coffee where you drink it and you're like, I'm energized. Their life just gradually gets better and they just forget. And so these are why these conversations of, hey, since you've been in, like, what's been better? How's it going? Helps them to draw these gaps and figure this out. But when you ask them these questions, it's going to help you to know when you're marketing, whether you're using us or not. What should my marketing be talking about? What should my content be talking about? Because you may not even realize you're solving a problem. When I came into IV therapy and started marketing, I didn't realize that a lot of times one of the big problems is you have providers sitting around with nothing to do. And my marketing solved that problem. And some of the clients I worked with didn't even care about the revenue I created. They cared about, oh, our providers were busy or they were slow and we turned it down. I never knew that. I never even thought about that. So you need to do that for your patients and take the time and ask them, like, hey, like what positive changes did you notice after your last treatment? And just shut up, which is hard for me sometimes, but it's really powerful, guys, to have those conversations. And that will help you to start learning how to talk to your patients and present and even sell what they need, because you're going to use their words as opposed to oxidative stress. So I want to leave you with that. Like, really try to get to know what are the pain points of the people you're treating. Cool.
If we're not 100% sure about our avatar, or I think I'm assuming with this beta test, we can help figure out as we're marking it, who is going to respond more, if it's people with the chronic issues or those who want optimization or athletes, or, I mean, with the clinic that you are going to work with, and are you going to focus only on one, or we'll just try a bunch of different things and see what sticks?
Yeah. So typically on these kind of things, we do throw a really wide cast net. And what we're going to find is I don't even care about who applies for the leads. What I want to see is who are the conversions. And so this is where I have a background from owning these businesses. I'm not just a marketer. I want to see not only who converts, but who stays. And so this is why I want to work really closely with you guys, because cool, Susie Smith came in for a trial for $299, but we found that all these people stayed for a year or bought a year package. And those are the things you want to know, because even if it's a higher lead cost, if I can get more of those kind of people in, then I want to work on that. And so that's a great question.
And are you going to help us maybe try to come up with some packages if we don't already have them? Or
yeah, I mean, that's something we do for all our clients. So, and what's cool about the way our program works, guys, is once we've come up with these and we have marketing for it, anyone that comes on later on, we can offer those and say, hey, here's the 12-week marketing campaign, and we can run it for you for your clinic with some, customizations to your facility. Yeah, guys. And if you're not thinking about packages and memberships, that's a whole thing, a different loaded chat, but you definitely need to be having that, because you're missing the bag there.
Just awesome, one more time. How do we apply for the program?
And again, guys, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm just Justin Lesh on Instagram. I do a free Facebook group that we do talks like this twice a week. In fact, I did one right before this, and it's just marketing, just stuff. I mean, obviously we're going to dive into all aspects of the business, but I am not a medical director. I am not going to tell you where to buy your supplies. I stay in my lane. I'm really good at getting eyeballs and helping you to see more profits. Like, that's what we want to do. But I also want to make sure you do that ethically. So I will not let you screw yourself up that way either.
And I'm excited. I think this is a good opportunity for people. And if I didn't make this clear, Justin's basically going to be, we're going to refer every clinic that comes through us over to him to help dial it up, because they do have a good program. So awesome, guys. Well, it seems like we're wrapping up here. I appreciate everybody's time. Justin, thank you so much for presenting, giving us some insights into things. And I'll catch you guys next time. We'll be doing more webinars. It'll be kind of as things pop up. So it's not on a set schedule, but do make sure to opt in for them, because last time the compliance webinar, we ran out of seats. So I had a bunch of people that were trying to get in that weren't able to. But anyway, thanks, guys. We'll catch you later.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.